I'm going to start off this morning with a shameless plug. We have a newsletter that goes out each week, and hopefully you all are getting that. And the plug starts now for anybody that's watching the video that does not already receive the newsletter. Please send an email to info@divineconnect.org and let us know that you want to be a part of that. The reason I bring that up is because if you read the little article that I wrote in the newsletter this week, you will have read an abbreviated version of what we're going to talk about. So we're going to kind of expand on that some. So that's the end of the shameless plug. We have a great newsletter. Gloria does a great job on it. Sign up, read it, share it with your friends. Okay, that's the end of the shameless plug. Earlier this week, I was going into meditation, which I do every morning. I've developed a really, I think, a very powerful meditation practice. It's very strong. It's very important to me. Monday through Friday, definitely every morning I'm in meditation at a certain time. It's pretty much the same time every day, and then oftentimes I do meditation later on, and then on the weekends just kind of when I can. Part of that practice that I've developed, I have a list of guided meditations. Some days I use music. Some days I just go in complete silence. Some days I have guided meditations. Well, earlier this week, I had gone into these guided meditations, and I clicked on one and got settled in my chair, and all of a sudden this real jazzy music came on, and this real upbeat stuff started happening, and it was definitely a meditation, but it was fun. It's like, this is not right, and I'm getting up to go change that to put on the soft, easygoing stuff that I usually listen to, and I was physically, it felt like, pushed back into my chair. And so I just settled into it. I'll let this thing go. I came out of the meditation happy, energized, and I thought, this isn't so bad. But it's not what I'm used to. Now, of course, I can't let something like that just sit still. I got to look into it. And what I discovered was we build what works for us, and when we're really diligent at it, when we're really devoted to it, and we're really keen on the idea that this is going to be good for us, we build what we believe is the best thing possible. I truly believe that my meditation was absolutely perfect for me and exactly what I needed. And it was, right up until I needed more. The tie-in to the newsletter was I wrote about a seed. The seed grows on that plant, and it grows to the point of being a mature seed, and it thinks life is done. I've done all I can do. I've become the seed that I was meant to be. And then it falls off. Now, sometimes when it falls off and things start changing, life gets a little dark. For the seed, it gets extremely dark. It works its way into the ground, and it sits there dormant for a while. Sometimes that's what happens to us. For me in this meditation practice, it was instantaneous. There was no darkness other than the few seconds that I am fighting, no, this is wrong. And when I finally allowed it, the darkness goes away. Well, when the seed finally allows it, it cracks open and sprouts new life. And it grows into a beautiful plant, or a beautiful weed, or it grows into what it's truly meant to be, and it continues the process. A great example of how that works in real life is my favorite band. It's 7 members, and in my opinion, these are the best musicians in the world. These guys have reached a pinnacle that not very many people are going to get to. These guys, no matter how hard I try and how hard I work, I'm not sure I would ever match up with the guy that plays the bass guitar for this band. I mean, they are just that good. I can be excellent. And part of it's because they work so well together. But anyway, these guys spent I think it was 22 years at the time, getting to a point where they were top of the game. They were selling out concerts with 1 million people in one concert. They averaged about 100,000 people a night, 3 to 4 nights a week. They were putting out an album almost every year. And these things were selling platinum. So these guys were at top of their game. Life couldn't get better. And they had rented a studio, they had written music, and the leader of the band walked in and says, "I'm done." The band members are all, "What's going on?" He said, "I'm done. It's not fun anymore." He had hit that spot where they had grown to a point where they had always visioned and beyond what they'd always visioned being, and it wasn't fun anymore. He was in the darkness. And when the rest of the band members were interviewed about this, they realized they too were kind of in that darkness. They had just gotten into a rhythm. They had gotten into a stagnant place. They had ripened. They had matured as much as they could, and they fell into the darkness. Well, instead of quitting, which is an option, I could have stopped my meditation when I realized something wasn't quite right, when I realized something wasn't working the way it could work. I could have quit. Instead, I allowed a change. Well, these guys allowed a change as well. And they decided to come together in a different way. And they started having fun again. And they created at least 3 more CDs that I'm aware of. It might even be a 4th one out there now that I can't remember. But they continually allow change to happen. They continually allow themselves to reach that maturity, and then don't fret when they fall off the vine, when they fall back to the earth, and they just grow again. What is happening to them musically? I'd said that when they got to that point, they were the best they could possibly be. I was wrong. They have each gotten better. They're having fun with it. They are doing things now that I would have said was impossible when I thought they were the best that could possibly be. We too are like that. We grow to a point in different parts of our lives, whether it be spirituality, our jobs, our relationships, hobbies that we have. We grow to a point where we think we have matured just as far as we possibly can. And then we stop because we get tired, or we continue trudging along without allowing for change. Change is seen as such a negative thing, and this kind of is a continuation of what we've talked about for 2 or 3 weeks now. Change is seen as a negative thing. Vulnerability, which is required in order to change, is seen as a negative thing. It's not. It's actually where all of the fun and all the excitement take place. In our meditation this morning, vulnerability is that spot between where we are and where we want to be. That spot that is full of God when we allow it. That spot that our connection with God is the way we move through it. Because I can tell you, this community is in that spot where the seed has fallen to the ground. And how we get from seed to full-grown plant so that we can continue the cycle, I'll be honest, I'm not sure exactly what every single step is. I've got some ideas on things to fertilize the growth. I've got some ideas on ways to encourage the growth. But until I embrace that gap between where we are and where we're going to be, and until I embrace the fact that I don't have all the answers, and until I just allow the process and know that God is guiding it, and I am just an expression of what He's guiding, or she, or it, or however you want to refer to God, until I get to that point, I'm struggling. I'm in darkness. See, not knowing how to get there could be very scary. It could cause many questions of faith. It could cause enough fear that people run. It's not. I choose to embrace the vulnerability that's required to sit here before you every week and trust that whatever comes into my mind is what you're supposed to hear or what you want to hear. You know, to do this job, I've got to be very vulnerable and know that God is allowing me to express the divine, or I have to be so egotistical that I think I know it all. I think you know me well enough by now to know that that's not the case. I do not think I know it all. But I'm willing to be vulnerable. I'm willing to allow this growth to happen. I'm willing to guide it as much as I can. I'm willing to throw ideas into it, to throw fertilizer on it, to embrace the steps along the way. But this is a community effort, and when I say community effort, I know that it's God speaking through Kathy, through Luana, through Zelma, through Gloria, through Billy, through me. This is God's expression. So even if it feels dark, even if you don't know how it's going to take shape, even if it feels like it's time to quit, look back at where we are. And where we are right now is absolutely perfect. Any growth is just a bonus. We can do this. We're going to do this. And this turned into a cheerleading section about building our church. And it was not what it was supposed to be in my life, in my notes. So that tells me that words were coming that needed to be heard today. So, embrace the growth. People on the video, please sign up for the newsletter and let's share that, and we'll spread the word. And our community is just going to get more and more beautiful every day.